Hello everyone, welcome back to Oracle Database Administration Workshop. So yesterday or like previous session, we have seen understanding of RMAN backups and recoveries and some of the backup methodologies and recovery concepts. Now we will quickly jump into one of the most important and commonly used utility for the quicker resolution of restoring your tables or restoring your table space or restoring some of the schemas, small schemas, right? So one of the commonly used but not as a backup and recovery the strategy. It is just commonly used for logical object backing up. So some of like tables or table space or schemas and all those. So that is like your data pump. Data pump is IMPDP or EXPDP. The export and import utilities. So let's quickly see how you can move data from one database to other database or one schema to other schema, and from via remote or whatever method it is. Commonly used tools are like SQL loaders. And the default comes with your Oracle binaries, and EXPDP and IMPDP again comes with your Oracle binaries. These are like commonly used three tools widely used in industry, and some other clients via SQL developer or for via Toad or some other client tool also you can use it for your moving data. But these SQL loader and EXPDP, IMPDP are widely used. Again, data pump jobs you can monitor using DBMS data pump, or SQL loader you can use Oracle loader or Oracle data pump, external table API, anything you can use it. And again, data pump also you can use a direct API or whatever metadata API. Like APIs again you can use it for anywhere, whatever it is, anywhere API is supported. And we'll see all this EMPDP, XPDP, and SQL loader how it works in few minutes. Oracle data pump overview. As a server based as a server based for high speed data and metadata movement. So what exactly means server based, because whatever data pump utility you are using, it's all comes with your Oracle binaries. So if you want to do your data pump, you have to perform it you have to perform it on the server side. And then how you can monitor that data pump activity using DBMS data pump, you can monitor, and then you can take what are the two utilities, XPDP and IMPDP. EXPDP stands for exporting your objects, tables, tables or table space or index or stats or like or the schemas or database, whatever you can, all the logical object you can export. And then if you want to import it of any of the remote database or on the same database, you can use IMPDP. Again, you can use it web-based interface also via API call also you can do it, but commonly used are like XPDP and IMPDP. Again, it is server-based utility. You have to be in the server side. You have to connect to server and you have to execute this command. Without connecting, you cannot do it. Provide data movement. Once you do export, copy that file to the remote server on the same server or whatever the database you want to import, and you can directly import the data via direct path or external tables or network link or via XPDP. Many methods you can do the data movement. We'll cover all this in a minute. Oracle data pump benefits. Again, benefits are so many, like you can use a parallelism, and we can copy via network link, and you can do fine grained like object in single table level. You can copy it, can export it and import it. And you can copy over like remap schema, remap tables, so many features it will provide. See, remap capabilities, and so many things. It'll ability to export XMLType as a CLOBs. So many benefits. So, and then okay, you forgot about this, how to create and all. So we'll cover in a minute. So there are so many benefits using XPDP. Like as I say, fine grained, it will go at granular level, like table level and all. You can export it and explicitly specify, explicit specification for database versions, and support for parallelism. You can give parallelism 4, 8, 12, 16, whatever it is. You can, based upon your CPU and all, you can give parallelism. That will speed up your export. And estimation of export job consumption, network mode. You can also do the export via DB link, and so many features it's supported, right? So again, as I said, via DB link, export client source, your source database master table using data pump job, and data pump file set, and the server process, and via your via DB link, it will do the export, and then it will go and sit on your target database as a data file set. And again, server process starts there. Again, you use the same import Datapump job, and then you'll import into your target database. So direct via DB link you can do it, or you can do export here and then copy it to the target server and do the import separately. So both are possible. And then data pump utilities and interaction and modes. Command line, parameter file, interactive mode, and interface. Anywhere you can do. Command line is the best method. All DB will follow that. And again, as I said, what are it supported? It support full database backups and schema backups, table space backup, transportable table space, and remap tables, remap schema, many supported modes. And then, as I said, remap data file, remap table space, remap schema, remap tables, and remap data. So many things you can do it. All right. So these are like different transformations. Okay, demo. So let's quickly, log into server. Okay, let's clear it out. Okay, what I'll do now, create a replace. Okay, just quickly, PSFNEF grep mon. Okay, my VARCL SQL plus, let's as this DBA. I'll connect it and I will create directory, create a replace directory, test dir as for this particular directory. And then I'll give a read write access to Oracle. Right, I'll also give a read write access to system. Right, so done. Now, if I quickly verify whether this directory is exist or not, I'll exit lsfnltr. Okay, now such a file or directory, I'll create it mkdir-p. Right, so now this directory is created. Right, so directories exist. Now what I'll do, for a Oracle user, I have a table called employee and department. So just to verify that, I'll just connect SQL plus connected show user, Oracle user, select star from tab. You can see department, employee, both I have here. So now this is the export command, EXPDP Oracle /Oracle @ORCL. This is service name. Tables, I want to export employee and department table. Directory, I'll give test underscore dir, whatever directory we created here, right? Test underscore dir, and it is physically pointing to this location. So we will give this logical name, but in backend, it will connect to my this physical OS location. And then dump file, I'll give this emp and DMP and dump file, and log files will generate the log file. So we'll see this particular command here. Done. Oracle Tulsi Enterprise Edition, starting with this exporting. You can see export tables, index, statistics, all it is exporting here. And table, again, statistics, exporting table, and grant owner objects, all those, whatever the metadata related to them. So see, this is important here, these two lines. Employee table, and this is the size, and these many rows. And department table, this is the size, and these many rows. And finally, this is very important, that successful message. So now you can go back to that physical whatever the location, right? And then verify that. CD var data ls-ltr. You can see this is a dump file. You might have seen here, right? Whatever dump file you have given, that particular dump file, whatever the log file you given, that's a log file here. And again, that's the same log file what you've seen. Right? If you can do cat, see whatever you see in there, the same log file here. So your export is ready. Your export is ready. So now we will go and do some import. Import what I'll do, I will import. To do the import, I need a remote database, but I don't have a remote database. What I'll do, I will import into some other schemas. Wait a minute. So what I'll do, I will do okay. Now we will see this import command. So anyway, we'll copy both of them, and then see if I want to do with the same Oracle user, it should be on the remote database, right? So now what I'll do, I have the user called test1. So what I'll do, I will just make some changes here. Test1. Okay. So the import command is going to be slightly changed here because I'm wanted to import those two tables. With this export, with this export command, we did a employee table and department table. We exported from the Oracle user because these two tables belongs to Oracle user. Now what we will do, those two tables will import into test1 user. So now import system manager at that ORCL. You can use any sys user, system user, or like same Oracle user. You can use anything. And directory, you can give the same directory, and dump file will give whatever the dump file you exported here, right? The same dump file I mentioned here. And log file you can mention in test1.log. And remap schema, it is very, very important because we are exported from the Oracle user and this is from the source, and we are importing into test1 user. So if I run this one, so before I run that one, I will just verify connecting to connect test1 slash test1. So if okay, SQL plus test1 slash test1 connected, select star from tab. I will not be having any table with that user, right? So now I will do this import. After the import, I will be able to see those two tables. Now see connected to database and see import. See already import done these two tables. The employee table is 14 records and this one is 4 records. If I quickly go back, oh, I don't have that. Okay. So, and then if you want to see more things, you can check the log file. It will be logged the same thing. Test1. If I do cat of that, you can see same thing. It will be logged here, like 14 records imported 14 records, imported 4 records. If I can connect back to test1 user, select star from tab. So you can see department and employee, both the tables imported here. So that's the beauty of export and import. You can see, right? You can do table export and table import, and when you are doing it from one schema to other schema, the remap schema is very, very important. And you can see this is about exporting entire schema. You can see entire schema Oracle I'm exporting here. Here only tables I'm exporting. Here full equal to I am exporting entire database, all the schemas, everything I'm exporting. These are the three different options. You can try it out. And if you want to include certain tables, you can do include option. And if you want to cover via DB link directly from source database, you can create a database link, and you can use that via network remote link. You can directly do it. So with this particular over a DB link, we'll try it out. Once I will create one more database, remote database, and we'll try it out this option. But these are the various options you can try it out with export and import. Right. So if you are fine with the import and export utilities, then quickly we will move to the SQL loader. So this is also one of the widely used tool. So what happens? So SQL loader, it will directly bulk load data into my database. For example, if I get input data in terms of XML or some Word document or some text files, or whatever the source data, I'll get it in a different format. Using this SQL loader, I can directly load into my database, and I can create one control file to the format this data in which order and what are the delimiters. I'll mention everything, and I can directly load using SQL loader, and then it will process all the fields whatever are applicable, and then whichever it is not matching the control file criteria, it will reject it, and then also it will create one log files. After the accepted records, also you can do some more filter conditions, and you can discard it if it is not mandatory, but it's optional. The input data is mandatory, and the control file is mandatory, and the bad file and log files are mandatory, and whatever the selected records will be directly bulk inserted into my database. So this is how the SQL loader works. So quickly, mm, sorry, SQL loader control files, right? See, I said this control files. What control files, contains the location of data to be loaded, right? Where the data should be loaded and what format, what are the delimiters and configuration details, right? So, all the rejection methods, everything. I'll show you how this control file work. But basically, control files for which holds data location and the delimiters and what format data is coming and some manipulation details. This is about the control file to control the incoming data with a particular format and particular this one. So particular delimiter. So I'll just quickly go over that how it looks. This is a control file, right? See, load data into, this is a table, source table, that's a target table, and insert field by this delimiters. If this incoming data has a column, this delimiter, that it will be filtered by that particular delimiter. So that's about the control file, and very, very important. Without control file, you cannot load any data. Okay, that's one thing. And going to the next loading method, it's the bulk load. It's the bulk writes. One of the best criteria when you are loading data directly as a bulk, so you should not have any index or you should not have any formattation, right? The data insert it on the table, high watermark, it directly go to the top and then directly writes into a bulk mode. You can see convenient load and direct load, convention load or direct path load. So uses commit in the middle, uses data saves. It's a faster, like direct path load is directly load entire data without any commit. It's like save directly, it will save. But whereas in convention load, it will do the commit and there's a checkpoint happens and it is slower compared to direct path load. These are like always generate redo entries, generate redundantly on the user specific condition. So they in the direct path load there is no redo log generation and enforces all the constraints in this convention load, right? It enforces all the constraints, right? Index and primary key, all those, here it's a must, it will load all those. But whereas the enforces only primary key and unique and not null. So rest other things, it will ignore like indexes and all those, it is not good when you're doing direct path load. The indexes and all, you have to disable it. If indexes are there, then it will lead some performance impact. So, right. So, and then fires insert triggers and does not fire the insert trigger. And these are like difference between the direct conventional load and direct path load. But direct path load is for when they're doing a bulk loads, right? So external tables again, you can create external tables. You can store your XML files or a text file in a particular path, and you can read it as it's Oracle tables using some of the Oracle loader drivers and all. So this will cover it in a bit of with few minutes. But what our intention is just to go over how this direct SQL loader works. So for that, there are so many dictionary tables, external tables, and all those. So we'll cover it later. But right directly we'll jump into this demo of SQL loader. So SQL loader, it come again default with Oracle utility and parameter files, and you have to pass that parameter files. So what I'll do, just I have already demo setup ready here. So what I'll do, I'll directly go into my SQL loader directory. Right, so here I will remove this one right now. Right, so now I have email dot. So email that is my source file. This source file came from some source, whatever connected to database. It has like entries 1, 2, 3, and it has the email address, John, Jane, and Peter. These are the entries. If I cat that one, cat email dat, it's a data file came from one of the source system, right? So this like will be having hundreds of records in this format. It might be dat file or text file or CSV file or whatever file it is. And then I will create a one control file here. Okay, or that email that control file. So this control file is very, very important. Okay, cat. Okay, See, if you read this dat file, I want to put this IDs email field as a email ID 1, email ID 2, email ID 3, and respective email. I need to save it in my tables at my database level. So what this control file has, load data into table emails. Table email means this emails table should be available at my database level, right? So that's the first criteria. And insert field terminated by this semicolon or this comma. So it means each of this comma, it will consider each of them as a separate field, and those all field has to go in the form of email ID and the email. Two fields I'm going to separate in this table. So if I directly connect to database as a oracle/oracle and then select star from tab, if I do select star from tab, if I do, I have only department table and employee table. I don't have that email table, right? If as per this control file, as per this email.control file, I should be having email table. So I'll create an email table. See, create table emails, and I have an email ID as a number primary key, and I have an email value as a email address. So I'll just create this table. Done. So table created. If I do select star from tab now, I see now emails table came here. So if I do select star from emails, it's an empty table right now. Right now, nothing is there. Now I talked about incoming data file and control file we formed based upon how data it is. And if it has a data comma name, then I have to separate one more comma name based upon whatever the type of whatever the format of data. I need to form my control file by reading how the data is coming, and then I need to create one parameter file. The parameter file should contain our user ID, like oracle at the /oracle, or the control file. It should be a control file name, and the log file, whatever the log file, and the bad file. If you have like if some record comes with like this, right? So these are like bad files. These are like bad data. So these two entry has to go into this bad file. And if data, that's the actual data file, email.data. So actual data file, and then direct path equal to true. So then I already created this parameter file here. Let me go back. Where is that? So parameter file. If I do pair, you can see whatever I explained so far, it's already ready. So now I'll do run this one. SQL loader, parameter file, and whatever parameter file you created, you have to pass that parameter file. So if I run this one, see, load logical records, use path, direct load, and 3 rows successfully loaded. And if I go back to database, and if I do select star from emails, I'll be able to see 3 records. See, email ID 1, 2, 3, and then all 3 records are loaded. So this is the beauty of direct load. Right. So sometimes, if you don't want to go with you loading data. So what happens? This is this is source data came and fallen down, and then you did using direct load. You loaded into table. Sometimes what happens? This data is coming on every day, and then it is deleting, and then it is reloading. On data is coming on every day means sometimes what they want to do, they don't want to load on every day, so they want to read directly this particular whatever the file it is, right? So that is where this external tables comes into picture. So they will directly read that table as a the table exists inside my database. That will come today, and then that will be deleted by today end of the day, and then tomorrow the new file will comes, and then it will be coming on the same name, and then you can directly read that particular table, that data as an external table. So you have to the syntax is like create table, external table, employee ID, first name and last name, and the hire date. Organization details you have to give like this, and then defining external tables with the Oracle loader, and then external table population with the Oracle Datapump. So whatever method, there are many methods to load external tables and use that, but it is as simple as that. The data will be coming and residing on a certain path, and using that defining that particular path, you can directly read your external tables. So that is not that important right at this moment. So I'll explain the separate session for the external table if needed. So that's about the today's session. So the like three important topics what we covered are, let me go back here. Where is that? EXPDP, IMPDP, and the SQL loader. These are like widely used the technologies in most of the developers uses. So you should be thorough with that. So having said that, that's end of the session. So we'll catch up on next session. Thank you, guys.